Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore, and today we're going to be talking about Bleakrock Village. Now, Bleakrock Isle is a small barren island in the Sea of Ghosts, northeast of Skyrim, just south of Solstheim. It is sparsely populated by the Nords and sits far off any trade routes and has little to no strategic importance. In the Merethic era, the dragon cult ruled the isle, with the local dragon priest named Hadrin ruling the area with an iron fist. He was entombed at Skyshroud Barrow by the end of the Dragon War. At some point, a wealthy family arrived to set up a lucrative mining operation in Hosen's Folly. However, the mine was really a front for Daedra worshipping, and after a ritual went wrong, the site was abandoned. The main settlement on the isle at the time was Bleakrock Village, which was a small farming and fishing community. Now, during the Alliance War in the Second Era, the Ebonheart Pact garrisoned the isle to watch for enemy ships that would pass by. However, the Pact's activity would lead to higher bandit activity. In 582 of the Second Era, the Daggerfall Covenant targeted the isle for a much bigger part of their plan to invade the mainland Pact territory. And as a result, they hired bandits to raid the village and garrison, and to even then awaken the Daedric magic that was stationed in Hosen's Folly. The bandits in the Covenant had supplied a necromancer and essentially sent them to raise the dead within the abandoned mine. The garrison was unaware until it was far too late, and they were overwhelmed, and the village was slaughtered. The village was then also razed by pyromancers, and the few survivors were evacuated to Morrowind, some of which, like Denskar and Lautrec, Earth-Turner, would then join the Pact's military and were stationed at Fort Zarin in Balfoyen. Now, it is noted that it is two clans of this isle as well, and then there's the Snowborn clan, which Bleakrock Isle is home to two clans. Like I said, the Snowborn clan is led by Tilrani Snowborn, and she was also in charge of the village until Captain Rana of the Ebonheart Pact showed up and essentially took that mantle. She is killed by the Covenant eventually, or it is the player's option as the vestige to let her be killed. And essentially, her adopted children of Rolunda and Aimen are then evacuated along with the other clan we are going to talk about today, which is Deskar, Ara, Lautrec, and Tiranhild Earth-Turner. And essentially, these are the other members of the other prominent clan here, and it is possible for a lot of them to die as well. However, at least two members, no matter what will happen, will survive. It should be noted here too, although being a relatively smaller community in a smaller isle, there is also a presence of the Fighters Guild, and they are in an encampment known as Hunter's Camp, which is in the northwest region of the island. There are 4 members of the Fighters Guild there, 3 of which you have to rescue in a quest from the main leader there. And it is also worth noting that a lot of the members, including one of the hunters of the settlement of Bleakrock, were actually invited to join the Fighters Guild's presence on the island. Now, this is where I want to raise a question. Why was Bleakrock Village never re-inhabited? And essentially, there is a short answer and a long answer, but we're going to explore this long answer for the sake of exploring every little detail here. Now, Bleakrock Village, it was a small fishing, mining, and farming community at its peak, and it was large enough to support a population that attracted the attention of the Pact, which led to a garrison on the isle. Now, whether or not this was just to set up a garrison as a precautionary tale, and just in case the Covenant or the Dominion tried an invasion, or they actually saw this as a potential strategic military point where they had to defend against potential enemies, even if it was meant to just protect against bandits. There is the question of whether or not was it the Pact's presence on the island that attracted the Covenant, or was the Covenant going to invade there regardless? In the Pact's, for those who may wonder who be in support of the Pact, it may be that the Covenant was always planning to invade. However, if you look at it from a more strategical stance, it's also logical to explain that this would be a staging point for a much larger invasion. It's kind of what Uriel Septim V did when it came to Akavir. So, do I personally think that it was going to be targeted regardless? Yes. But it's worth noting that many residents who lived on the isle were very dedicated to the settlement, and that raises the question of why didn't anyone return? There were survivors. You know, the Earth-Turner clan survived, and even though they were adopted members of the Snowborn family, survived as well. And essentially, what is my synopsis? Prequels suck. So prequels always hurt the original, and that is because they introduce elements that are hard or cannot be explained away later. And now Bleakrock was and remained abandoned due to the fact that it didn't exist in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And so it's unfortunate that we don't get to see another settlement within the province of Skyrim, and it's kind of unfortunate that it won't exist because it's part of a prequel series. And we see this in, say, Star Wars, for example, where a lot of technology in the prequels are seemingly a lot more advanced than the original trilogy. So even the sequel trilogy, I would argue. But again, we have to explain it away using kind of far-fetched methods, and I think that in this one it's plain and simple that it's not in the sequel, or it's not in the original, so it can't be, it can't exist in that universe. So that the short answer here is it can't exist. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I've actually found it very fascinating when it comes to villages and settlements that no longer exist, that existed sometime in the past. And Bleakrock Village was just one of the few that I first caught my gaze on. So if you have any other settlements that you're curious on what happened to them, let me know in the comments below or in the Discord chat. As many of you might be wondering, this is not also a Tuesday, so you might be wondering, why didn't this come out on Tuesday? So lore is coming out on Wednesdays now, and I know today is, it was essentially to make it so it would be easier for me to upload, and I would be uploading at a decent time. Obviously this is not coming out at a decent time, however, this is also just something that I plan on being temporary. School schedules are tough and conflicting for me, so I pulled an all-nighter, and I stayed up for about 40 hours straight from Monday to Tuesday, and I went to bed very, very early on Tuesday, right after I got off work. Didn't even bother making the video. And so essentially I just put it on the side, and when I woke up, I had I had class, and then I had a paper to type. I have a 12-page paper to type. It was actually 13 pages, but I did that, and I made note in the Discord chat that I would be making this video a little bit later. So if you want news and updates and consistency, just comments about the channel and what everything's going on, please join the Discord chat if you want that kind of consistency and that information, because I do make updates in the Discord chat about why things are late or why things will be delayed, and I do get consistent news feeds as well as my activity, as well as the activity of others, because we do have a small group of people that are very active and talk a lot every day, and it's very nice to be able to interact every day. So if you're of a similar mind, please join the Discord chat. Feel free to join, and I'll see you all there. Peace. If you just happened to stumble upon this video and enjoyed, maybe consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber and you enjoyed, please hit that like button. It really helps way more than you actually think it would. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.